All right, guys, a lot of you know, there's been a lot of speculation on how the animals are going to be when it comes to numbers. And speaking on Northwest Colorado, it was one of the worst winter kills in the nation. And I know a lot of you hunt there. So we're going to get right into it and basically talk about what's going on with these herds.
Look, I don't want to talk. How you try and press the kid and read it, you was
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Let's Assess. So I just wanted to jump in here. It's like a quarter of the way through archery season. We spent Labor Day out hunting pretty hard, or kind of hard, and just going to the same spots that we normally go to. And I just kind of wanted to get on here, and I know a lot of you hunters hunt out this way. And so I just want to talk about basically what's going on with the elk and I guess deer as well, and antelope, because we're out there so we see them all. So starting on this, AJ, the myth, the man, the legend, is actually out on a trophy hunt right now in Unit 1 in Colorado. So I'm sure we'll shoot a podcast on how that experience was when he gets back. But until then, BC's holding down the fort. We're going to try to at least. And I just want to basically talk about kind of how our last weekend of hunting went. So we hunt very similar spots every single year. They're right in the same area, and we've been doing it for a couple years now. So we have an idea of how many elk are normally in the area, how many deer, how many bear, how many antelope, etc., etc. Holy cow, I can't even talk. So I'm going to speak on just kind of off the hip here what's going on with the animals. So CPW, Colorado Parks and Wildlife, released that they thought, and I think this is the number, that 67% of animals were affected by the winter, whether they aborted their calves, whether they died, what have you. And so rumors were they were going to cut tags by 60, 70%, somewhere in there. And a lot of those tags were late season cow tags, I heard. And some stuff like that. Over-the-counter archery in Colorado is still a thing, and my tag, I don't think in any amount of numbers was affected at all. So that was kind of the rumor. So everyone I've seen on Facebook groups and everything like that, people are really worried about, like, are there any elk in Northwest Colorado right now because of the harsh winter? And when I say harsh winter, for a snowmobiler, it was an amazing winter, but on the animals, it was really, really tough when it comes to food, when it comes to temperatures, and then when it comes to length, it was just absurd. So to give you some context, we started riding snowmobiles in October, which we normally don't. We normally wait till like late November. So it started early, and it went strong with snow all the time, very few sunny days. A lot of shoveling all the way through. I think we stopped riding in May, or I think we might have gone once, like early June. It was terrible snow, but it was just like to say we did it. So that was a very long winter. So normally what these elk do is they're up in the high country or higher country, and then they migrate when the snow pushes them out of those areas into lower elevation areas. That way they can find food easier and have less weather, less frigid temperatures, basically. So going back, that was all what was speculation. So now when it comes to what I saw out hunting, it seems like there's a lot fewer numbers in the places we hunt, especially bulls. I saw quite a few cows, and a lot of people were worried about these cows basically aborting their babies or dying. And I will say, in the areas that I was hunting this last weekend, I thought that it'd be really bad, but almost every cow had at least one calf. Some of them had like multiple calves, which was good to see. And then I was talking to AJ, who gets good insight at the state. He said that his guys are seeing the same thing, basically, that all these cows basically have twins or triplets with them, some of them. And so that was kind of weird. I didn't expect to see that. But I did see fewer numbers of cows than I normally see. And then when it comes to bulls, very few bulls in the areas that we hunt comparatively to what we normally see. There's still bulls. Opening morning, I went up. by myself and got a bull to like 80 yards, but he didn't come in much. He was at 80, and then I called, and he turned around and stood there for a while, and he didn't react much. It's early, but that was the only close encounter I had all weekend, which isn't normal. And then we were talking to some guys that are hunting the similar area. They've been hunting it for 15 years, and they said they're really, really worried about the numbers of elk that they're seeing. And they've been hunting for a week now, and they're doing spike camp, so they're not messing around. Like, they're up there actively looking for elk. They said they've seen one bull in the area, and then one bull that was out in a different spot. But it seems to have hit the bulls harder than what I thought would have happened. And another thing that this could do is if the rut is late, they're not going to be by the cows as much as they normally would be. And so that could be part of it as well. We'll see as September continues to get later into the season and more into the rut, if we'll start to see those bulls kind of grouping with the cows better. But I saw very few bulls comparatively to the past season. So I think, talking to people around here that know a lot about it, a lot of people think that those strong, mature bulls are the ones that have that best chance of making it through a winter like this. That's what I would have thought, but people actually are saying, like, more knowledgeable people are saying those can be the first ones to die in a tough winter. And like I said, I mean, if you're an elk scientist, maybe you can speak on that, but they say that they'll die first because they're the ones rutting the hardest. They're the ones fighting off other bulls, or maybe they're the herd bull that's in rut hard and they're excited. And so they go from basically being, fattening up all summer, and then through the rut, they kind of slow down eating, and then they're fighting and running and, mating and everything like that. So they tend to lose a lot of weight. And so going into a winter like this, when there's not a lot of feed and it hits, snow in the high years was hitting in October, that's right after the rut, they can be the ones that are kind of least prepared, so to speak, to face that winter. So that is kind of my experience talking to other people. Most people, especially on public lands, are seeing a lot less elk. Some of the outfitters I know they're doing okay. Everyone's saying the rut is going to be pushed back. I think Go Hunt in this area is saying it's going to be the 17th, which isn't too late, but normally you're able to hear a lot of bugles, and maybe there's just not a lot of bulls in the area. But I think that as the rut continues to progress, it's going to get better and better. Other than that, I'm just going to keep this short. And for those of you guys that are coming out here to hunt, I've seen a lot of people on Facebook saying don't come to Northwest Colorado, which is some of the best trophy units in the world. But I mean, I think it's still going to be good, hopefully, as the rut continues to progress. But as of now, I am seeing a lot fewer numbers of elk. All my friends are seeing a lot less elk. There's some experienced people in the area that didn't see a bull the entire Labor Day weekend hunting really hard, which for those of you who come out here and don't really know the areas, that's one thing. But for someone who's been hunting here for, some of these guys 30 plus years, they're not seeing bulls. That's kind of concerning. So hopefully it gets better. Hopefully the numbers didn't dwindle too much, because I've heard that all the signs are showing that this coming winter, like the one coming in a few months, is supposed to be even stronger than last winter. So with the introduction of wolves, bears running wild, mountain lion, and then these big winters, it's definitely taking a toll on deer, elk, antelope, everything else. But I did see some decent deer numbers that I don't normally see, and we saw a ton of pronghorn. So hopefully those numbers didn't dwindle too much, but obviously I think CPW is right. I think these herds have taken a hit, and a lot of people think they've taken a lot bigger hit than CPW thinks they have. So I'm going to keep it right around the 10-minute mark, guys. If you have any questions about what I've been seeing or what the elk are doing, leave them in the comments. And until next time, let's assess. Love you. Later. Peace. Go hunt.